What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel. Joseph Conlon here on Wednesday, May 18th, 2022, here with Cameron Johnson and Wesley Williams on the Big Fight Field channel tonight. Um, Normally, we're coming on Wednesdays, um, you know, um, good vibes, mostly a good vibe. I I don't know, man. I did not get a good vibe with tonight's show at all. I did not think that. I don't know if I'm being too critical for the AEW fans out there. I love AEW, but I gotta tell it how it is. I did not think tonight's show was that good. It was not a good show. I enjoyed um, the Hangman Page t- Konsuke Takeshita match. I enjoyed the Kyle O'Reilly and Ray Phoenix match, and the segment with the Jericho Appreciation Society. That was about it. I only really enjoyed three things tonight. Um, I don't know. I just didn't get a good vibe with tonight at all. But Wes, Cam, what's up? Actually, before what's up, shout out to Cam because he might have gotten us a new intro on the Big Fight Field channel. If you didn't see it on my Twitter today, this man Cam set up an intro for the channel with the Chaos Project, Luther and Serpentico. No offense if they're watching. No offense. I wasn't really big fans of them when they first came into AEW, but now with this new intro, boom, they're my favorite tag team.
There you go.
Cam, what's up, dude?
What's going on, Joseph? Again, man, I had no issue getting you that intro. I told you, Luther is my friend. Luther and JD Drake are my friends. Every time I see them at DPW, I have great chats with them. They are my friends, legitimately. So I had no issue giving you that intro. So I had no issue giving you that intro, man. As you can see here, I got my brand new thinking cap on from Stranger Things here. Because that's what I'm doing on this here. It's my thinking cap. Anytime you see this on my head, I'm thinking of something. I'm cooking up something. I'm cooking up something nice on the reviews. That's why you see this here. And I got my Maki Itoh shirt on because quite frankly, the disrespect you and Wesley gave my girl Maki Itoh tonight, man, was out of this world, man. But we will talk about it later. But we will talk about that later on. I thought AEW Dynamite tonight. I thought this was a good show. I didn't think it was a great show. I thought this was one of the weaker shows. I thought this was one of the weaker shows that they've done. And there's a lot of things I have to say about the time, just about the time management aspect of things, how two of their champions in the TNT champion and the women's champion feel like complete and utter afterthoughts. They've really dropped the ball with those. But, we do have a clear picture of what Double or Nothing is shaping up to be now. That is looking like to be a really good show. And yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk.
Yeah, I agree. And I kind of want to talk about that timing issue um, towards the end, like in the main event, because that main event got less than 10 minutes. I know Cam had no problem with it, but I would like to address that when we get to the main event. But Wes, what's up, man? You weren't here last week. You're back tonight. What's up?
What's going on, man? It's happy to be back talking AEW with you boys tonight. I thought there were good parts about tonight's show. Definitely wasn't a great show by any means. I thought the Houston crowd was great. I thought there was another great AEW crowd tonight. I will give the Houston crowd a lot of credit there. Definitely good parts. I'm with you, Joseph. Love the Phoenix versus O'Reilly match, and I love the Konosuke Takeshita match versus Hangman Page. Both awesome matches. Gotta definitely credit those. But yeah, it's like you guys were talking about time management. We'll probably get more into it as we get deeper into the review. But knowing that AEW is in nearly year 3 of their run on national television, this is something that should be cleared up at this point. I mean, you got to, especially now that you have 2 shows, in AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage, stuff like this needs to be covered already. We shouldn't still have a time management issue. We shouldn't still have an issue of trying to cram so much content within 2 hours. So I really do feel like TNT should offer an overrun to AEW at this point because, I mean, they've been pulling in, solid ratings for them and the good demo numbers and everything for TNT. I know Turner Network's definitely been happy about that. But I also think, too, that Tony Khan, I think, is just for whatever reason, again, he's just trying to cram in too much, and he really needs to not do that. He needs to try and, balance this stuff out evenly and accordingly, so that way it doesn't feel so crammed, it doesn't feel so forced. But yeah, we'll get into more of that as we dive deeper in the review. But I'm happy to be back, happy to be talking AEW with my boys here, Joseph Conlon, Cameron Johnson. It's great to be back. Let's get into it.
Before we get into the review, I just read an article that Jackson Riker, of all people, was as vocal in he's upset about the shirt that CM Punk wore tonight. Jackson Riker, of all people. So
Fuck Jackson Riker, bro. Should he be controlling his narrative right about now, bro? Should he be doing that? Go control your narrative, Jackson Riker. Go control your narrative, Jackson Riker. Well, I don't give a fuck about Jackson Riker.
He's actually fun fact, I guess. He's actually going to be wrestling here in my city at one of the churches here in my city. Like it's for Resurrection Wrestling. I never knew that was a promotion, but apparently that's a thing. I saw a Facebook ad for it. So there you go. You heard it here first. Resurrection Wrestling. Jackson Riker is headlining it. So there you go. If you're interested in that, come to Central Church in Memphis. There's a little cheap plug, I guess. There you go.
I bet as soon as Wesley saw that ad, he just kept. As soon as Wesley saw that ad, he just kept strolling. Came along.
I gave a good chuckle. I did give a good chuckle when I saw that. I was like, huh, that was something I did not expect to see during my day. But there you go. There you have it. So.
Secretly, when he saw Jackson Riker promoted, he wanted to buy tickets. So.
Oh, immediately. Absolutely. I got the fancy pack, bro. I got it all set up right now. There you go. You're gonna see me. You'll see me live and in color. There you have it, right there. Big extravaganza and all that. So.
Oh man, let's get into Dynamite. So we opened up. The crowd. The show is in Houston, Texas tonight, and they opened up with Samoa Joe against this mystery Joker. People were speculating all day online. I was not one of those people. It's gonna be Claudio, aka Cesaro. Johnny Gargano is gonna show up tonight. I originally thought it was gonna be Miro, but wasn't Miro. It ended up being Johnny Elite, aka John Morrison. He came out to a really big ovation. Good for him. He did not get a lot of that in WWE. Good for him for getting that big pop. I don't think he signed with AEW full time because he did not get the Johnny Elite is all elite post. There wasn't any of that. He just he had his match with Samoa Joe tonight. The match was good. The only really bad thing about the match was he went for a 450 splash and he missed by like 3 feet and he had to drag himself onto Samoa Joe. That was ugly. That was really bad. Samoa Joe wins with the Muscle Buster. 1, 2, 3. He pins Johnny Elite, and once I saw him come out, I'm like, okay, there's no way. Samoa Joe's not going to lose this match. I originally thought Jay Lethal was going to cost Samoa Joe the first round of the Owen Hart Cup tournament. I'm guessing they're going to save that for the pay-per-view when he's in the finals against Adam Cole. And, I thought this was good. It was a good opener. After the match, we had Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt beating down Samoa Joe. Satnam Singh was out there as well. And the best friends, Trent, Chuck Taylor, and Rocky Romero came out for the save. So, good stuff, I guess. It was a good match to open up the show. And Samoa Joe's advancing in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. We'll start with West tonight. We'll let's kick it off with Wes.
Yeah, I thought this was a good opener. I like the surprise of Johnny Elite, a.k.a. John Morrison, a.k.a. many other names he's acquired over the years during his run with different promotions. But really cool to see him. I would like to see him back at some point. I imagine he's probably not signed on full time. He's probably going to still do some work around the indies and all that stuff, do the circuit and all that. But, yeah, I mean, such a great talent that WWE wasted once again in their but, you know, their loss is another company's gain. I would love to also see his wife enter the picture in AEW at some point. Taya Valkyrie, I know she's been doing the rounds on the indies. I would love to see her in AEW at some point in the near future. I started to think a little bit that she might have ended up being the Joker tonight versus Britt, but I feel like that probably would have been too obvious, though. But, you know, hopefully, again, we'll see her in the near future. But I thought the match itself was good. Outside of the 450 botch, I thought that was a good match with Joe and Johnny Elite. And it looks like we're probably going to get some sort of thing going, you know, now that the best friends seem to be involved, or more so the Chaos faction is more so now involved with the feud with Jay Lethal and all of them. It looks like they're going to be kind of Samoa Joe's backup going forward. And you know, it's kind of funny how we were talking about, like, we might see the best friends feud with Blackpool Combat Club. That definitely is not the case anymore. So both factions are going in different directions. So we'll see how that builds up over time. And we'll see maybe Orange Cassidy's going to get back in the ring pretty soon. It seems like he's starting to get better and better. And we're starting to see him get a little bit more physical. So we'll probably see Cassidy back pretty soon. But pretty interesting development going on. And yeah, I'm assuming Lethal will probably be more involved with Joe's situation heading into the finals of the Owen Cup. They did attack his arm with this attack tonight, so that's probably going to play a factor in the match next week against Kyle O'Reilly. So that's something to be looking out for.
Yeah, I could see that happening next week. Let's go to Cam.
First off, I want to say this. Whenever Samoa Joe wrestles on Dynamite or in AEW period, I need Bobby Cruz to ring out Samoa Joe. No disrespect to Justin Roberts, but they need to fly Bobby Cruz. Whenever Samoa Joe has a match on Dynamite, they need to fly Bobby Cruz out and have him do Samoa Joe's ring introductions. I can have him do Samoa Joe's ring introductions. But with that being said, I thought this was really good. I'm not going to lie. When I saw Johnny Elite, I thought Johnny Gargano was walking out. I was like, oh. When I saw the Titan show and it said Johnny Elite, I thought Johnny Gargano was watching it. I was like, uh-oh, but it turned out to be Johnny Impact, John Morrison, Johnny Mundo, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Why has this guy had so many fucking names? That's what I would like to know. But I thought this is a good match. The 450 spot irked me. The 450 spot irked me. Really, it irked me in this match here. Samoa Joe should have rolled. Samoa Joe should have rolled closer to Johnny Mundo. Should have rolled closer to John Morrison, so Morrison could hit the 450. That 450 was fucking terrible. But I thought this is a really good match. I'm glad John Morrison did not hit his finish, Starship Pain, because Starship Pain looks terrible. Starship Pain is a terrible finish move because the guy never fucking connects. He never connects with it. So I do not like Starship Pain. Joe winning with the Muscle Buster was the right decision. Joe winning with the Muscle Buster was the right decision. Post-match beatdown with Satnam Singh, Jay Lethal, and Sanjay Dutt. I thought was fine. The best friends coming out, I thought that was fine. Overall, I thought this was fine. And I want to say Johnny Mundo being John Morrison being the Joker, to me, was perfectly fine. Because if it's Claudio or Johnny Gargano, I don't think either of those guys can come into AEW right away and lose, which is why I thought Joe was going to lose, which is why I thought Jay Lethal or Satnam Singh was going to cost Joe this match. But bringing in John Morrison, who's probably not signed, him being the Joker for here, him being the Joker here is perfectly fine. So I had no issues with this.
Yeah. One thing I realized as well, you could just tell by them wrestling in this match. It was the first time they probably wrestled each other in a one-on-one environment, which, I mean, that's fine. Yeah, you're always going to have that. So, Samoa Joe gets to win, and he's going on to next week at the Owen Hart Cup. All right, this was this was my favorite thing of the entire night. we had Hangman Page against Kenosuke Kateshka. Um, Non-title match. This match was awesome. This was by far the best thing of the entire night. This reminded me, oh, I gotta think, I gotta go back to memory lane. This reminded me when I don't want to say this reminded me, honestly, when Dante Martin was in that six-man tag in the summer. I don't remember who he teamed up with, but he faced Kenny. He was in the ring with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and he just broke out during that match. Everybody was shocked. Everybody was singing his praises after that match. Even though he lost, everybody was singing his praises. I felt the same way with Kateshka tonight. This match was awesome. He gave Hangman Page everything he got. Literally, dude was moments away from pinning the world champion, even CM Punk. When the crowd was standing up cheering, even CM Punk was standing up cheering as well. Um, I'm not sure if he's going to be in AEW full time. I sure do want to see more of him on Dynamite and on Rampage. And the kid's only 22 years old. If he's not in AEW, um, he's going to thrive in the business. He's really good. Um, and I'm a Kenosuke Kateshka guy after tonight. That match was awesome against Hangman Page. He was frustrating Hangman. Hangman, I don't know what move he was going for, but Hangman got a clothesline like out of nowhere, which was really cool. And then he hit the buckshot lariat. And then um, last week CM Punk hit the buckshot lariat on John Silver. This week, Hangman Page hit the GTS on Kenosuke Takeshita, and he got the win. After the match, they're staring at each other on stage. They get face to face, and Hangman's raising his belt. Everybody's chanting CM Punk, and I like where this story's going. They got the story of CM Punk and Hangman Page's head. Um, yeah, this has probably been the best built match outside of Wardlow and MJF going into the pay-per-view Double or Nothing. And that's kind of a theme with this. I'm excited for the pay-per-view. I think it's going to be a great show. But we really don't have a lot of matches that have had weeks of progress of build. I feel like these are the only matches that have had weeks of build leading up to it. With the matches confirmed right now, this match, and it's not confirmed, but MJF and Wardlow, it's easily been the best thing leading up to this Double or Nothing pay-per-view. But tonight, Hangman and Takeshita is by far the best thing on Dynamite. Awesome match, and I want to see more Takeshita on Dynamite or Rampage. Throwing it over to Cameron Johnson, man. I know you got some good things to say about this.
Well, as for Kenosuke Takeshita, I know he is with the DDT promotion in Japan, but whenever his time with DDT comes to an end, I would love to see him on Dynamite more. I would love to see him on AEW television more. He wrestled for DPW Saturday. He wrestled for DPW Saturday. I forgot the opponent he was in there with, but I was very excited when I saw this. It was like a last minute addition. And not only did he have, I don't want to say he had the best match on the show, but it was either this or the world title match, which should be on TV Thursday. Bojack and Diego Hill, by the way, those guys had a fucking great match. Check that out on DPW television. Check that out on DPW's YouTube channel tomorrow. But Konosuke Takeshita probably had the best or the second best match on the entire show. This guy was incredible, and he got a standing ovation from everybody involved. That is today. He got a standing ovation from everybody involved, and it was a long standing ovation. This thing won about a good 2 or 3 minutes. And this thing won about a good 2 or 3 minutes. So I was very much looking forward to seeing what he did, seeing what he did in there with Hangman Page. And this match did not disappoint. I'm a Takeshita guy. I want to see more of this guy on television. I want to see more of this guy. He's really good. This is a really good match here. Shout out to Excalibur. And shout out to Excalibur and mentioning El Generico, bro. And mentioning El Generico, bro. It's a shame. It's really a shame El Generico retired. And it's really a shame El Generico went to go work in that orphanage, bro. I would love to see El Generico on Dynamite, but sadly, we can't get El Generico on Dynamite because he's helping, because right now he's with that orphanage. So whenever he gets done with the orphanage, I'd love to see him I love to see him come back and have a match on Dynamite. So shout out to Excalibur for that. But I thought this is a fun match here. And I'm digging the build to Punk and Hangman at Double or Nothing. That's gonna be a fucking great match. I tell you, I thought this was real good.
Yeah, and before I hand it over to you, Wes, I just scrolling through Twitter, and a Takeshita tweet just popped up saying, "I called my mother in Japan for the first time, and I told her I was glad I became a professional wrestler. Thank you, AEW. It was an unforgettable night in Houston." I mean, that's just the stuff you love to see, man. I want to see more of him on TV. Let's hear what Wes has to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, nothing short of amazing between both Hangman Page and Konosuke Takeshita tonight. I've been high on Takeshita for quite a while now, ever since I was first exposed to him on AEW Elevation back when they were doing the shows at Daly's Place in front of little to no fans. I've been really high on this guy. I mean, just right out of the gates, this guy, I mean, he has such a great look to him. And then once I saw him go in the ring, man, I was like, hold up, this dude is special. Like, this ain't no, like, run-of-the-mill, like, oh, just your normal jobber wrestler or whatever. Like this dude is something special. And the fact that he's as young as 22 years old, man, 22, unbelievable, man. This guy is this good now, man. He looks like an absolute natural in that ring. It looks like he doesn't lose a step at all with what he's doing. I mean, like he looks like he's been doing this for 22 years, and he's only 22 years old. It looks like he's been doing this 22 years and everything, man. But honestly, for those of you who watch Elevation and Dark and stuff, I do on a weekly basis. I don't watch it like as it's happening live, but I do catch up with it week to week. I highly recommend you go back and you watch Danny Limelight versus Konosuke Takeshita on Dark Elevation. One of the best matches I've ever seen on any Dark show, whether that be just regular AEW Dark or Elevation. Those two guys tore it up big time, man. Those two guys put on a hell of a match. I highly, highly recommend you go back and watch that match. It's definitely well worth the time and the energy. I think they went probably about 10, 15 minutes or so. I mean, these two guys tore it up, and it was awesome to watch. But yeah, definitely need more Konosuke Takeshita on AEW television. I don't know if he's here to stay with AEW or if he's going back to Japan at some point to continue to do work with DDT. But again, I would love to see this guy put on more amazing matches with more of the amazing AEW talent that is on that roster, man. Just a hell of a match tonight between both him and Hangman. And I love the fact that Hangman won the match with the GTS, since last week we saw Punk win with the buckshot lariat on John Silver. So just a little taste of his own medicine there. And again, yeah, outside of MJF and Wardlow, this is one of the best built storylines going into Double or Nothing. I'm really enjoying this. This really, I think, is cementing Hangman's reign. Is a big one for sure. This is definitely, honestly, might be his best feud yet that he's had up to this point. I think he's had some, great feuds with Bryan Danielson, that short interim feud he had with Lance Archer and everything. I mean, and then Page and Cole had a nice, they had a couple great matches and everything. But I think this storyline is really culminating everything together, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the main event at Double or Nothing. Again, it's so unpredictable right now, man. This really is the most unpredictable match on that entire card come May 29th, man. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what these two guys do. It should be a hell of a fight.
Absolutely.
Hey, two things before we move on. One, Wesley talking about Konosuke's match with Danny Limelight on Dark Elevation. Check out his match with Angelico he had. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. That match is fucking great. That match is great. And also, I got a question for y'all. In terms of match quality, is Hangman Page like the best AEW champ? Like, I know Kenny Omega had some great matches. Moxley had some great matches. Jericho had some really good matches. But in terms of match quality, though, is Hangman up there as like the best AEW champion of all time in terms of match quality? It's two matches with Bryan Danielson, and the match he had with Lance Archer, the match he had with Lance Archer, the match he had with Dante Martin, I'm actually had tonight with Takeshita. I know it wasn't an AEW title match, but still. Then in like 2 weeks, he's facing Punk for the AEW title. Is Hangman Page like the best AEW champion in terms of like match quality? I didn't even mention his matches with Adam Cole.
I mean, yeah, that. No, I mean, I'd say it's up there, but for a part of me still thinks that Omega's had the best matches, though, because, I mean, Kenny Omega, he's called the best bout machine for a reason, man. That dude, every match that guy's in, it becomes that much better because that's how great Kenny Omega is. But I would definitely say Page is getting up there, though, for sure. Wouldn't definitely discredit anything he's done when it comes to match quality. Trust me, I mean, his match with Danielson was by far my favorite personal match of 2021. Those two guys completely killed it. The 60-minute time limit that they went to, man, absolutely wonderful. The match with Archer was great. That was a short little interim feud, but that was awesome. The matches with Cole were great, and the match with Dante Martin was great as well. So, yeah, I mean, he's up there, but I'd probably still give it to Omega because Omega had such a long reign. He had more matches, too. And, again, it's Kenny Omega, man. You can't discredit Kenny Omega in any conversation talking about professional wrestling, man. Kenny Omega is one of the greatest to ever grace the ring, for sure. So
I agree. I still say Kenny Omega, but I would give Hangman Page second. I would say he's second. So yeah, and we'll see what happens next week. They didn't even announce anything for next week, so I'm guessing that we're gonna get face to face between them next week. That'd be my guess. We had Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland going up against the Workhorsemen. Anthony Henry and J.D. Drake. Shout out to Cam, J.D. Drake. Quick match. I really didn't get nothing away from this. Obviously, we knew they were setting up a triple threat tag match at Double or Nothing. That finisher from Keith Lee and Swerve, though, smooth, man, and so I love it so much. It's so awesome. They obviously beat the Workhorsemen. Then, I mean, they're cutting a promo. You got the segment where Team Taz comes out, Jurassic Express comes out. Then Christian says, we challenge you guys to a triple threat match for the tag team titles at Double or Nothing. And how about next week, we're going to get Jungle Boy's win back against Ricky Starks and the man who costed him that match, Swerve Strickland. So next week on Dynamite, we're going to get Ricky Starks, Jungle Boy, and Swerve Strickland. So I kind of like the way this three-way match is building up to be at Double or Nothing. You got the technical high-flying guys. Where you got Jungle Boy, you got Starks, you got Swerve. You know they're going to be all going at it. Then you got the big men. You got Luchasaurus, you got Hobbs, and you got Keith Lee. I love the way this match is styled up for Double or Nothing. So I really do think it should be a fun match, even though, like most of the matches on this card, they kind of just threw it together. Like, I know Keith Lee, Swerve, and Team Taz have been feuding for months, but they kind of just, like, threw this match in together, I feel like. But, yeah, fine, I guess. Let's go to Wes.
Yeah, not much to say about the match itself, but I do, again, I agree with you, Joseph. I love that finisher of Swerve Strickland Keith. That is a great finisher. I mean, honestly, man, when you look at the tag team of Swerve and Keith Lee, like, you don't think originally these guys are going to be put together, but, once we've seen them in the ring, like, these guys mesh really well together. I think they do make a very, very solid tag team. I mean, both guys are great in their own rights as singles competitors, but as a tag team, I think they make a great duo. But, when it comes to the tag team title match in this triple threat, I don't feel like it's as forced as, like, some other, feuds kind of feel like going into the pay-per-view. Like, this one feels like it doesn't feel super forced. I feel like this is like, okay, it's kind of coming together in a more natural way. And I mean, honestly, you look at these three teams, you really think these guys are going to disappoint us come Double or Nothing? These three teams are going to give us a hell of a match. And I mean, just look at the last triple threat tag team match we have for the tag titles involving Jurassic Express. It had Young Bucks Dragon, and we all know how amazing that match was at Revolution, man. Like, golly, take me back to watching that match for the first time, man. Beautiful stuff. I expect nothing less here from these three teams. I love the fact that they were making fun of Ricky Stark's outfit, because I'm telling you, immediately when he came out with Hobbs, I was like, Ricky Starks looks like he's about to go golfing. Like, he's about to go golf, like, for like 18. And literally, they comment about how he's about to go, like, it looks like he's about to go golf. And I was like, I called it. I freaking called it, because he looks like
hey man,
that
is what you call drip, my brother. That is what you call drip. My man had that drip on tonight. He had that pearl necklace on. He had that. Yeah, you see Ricky, he had that pearl. He had that drip tonight, man. That is what you call drip. Put some respect on Ricky Stark's fit tonight, man.
I will say he looks good. He does look good. He's a fine gentleman. I gotta give it. But I do love the shot. I love that he called the Swerve called him a bar of soap too. That was hilarious, man. Dude, there were some good lines in this. I enjoyed it. But I think this is and we'll get more into it when we talk about like the predictions and everything. But I feel like everything is really going to culminate soon with Christian as well, with his alliance with the Jurassic Express. I feel like there's more hints at that, but I think it's definitely looking interesting going into the show, and I'm very much looking forward to this triple threat tag team match. I think it's going to be a great one, and honestly, I feel like it's a bit unpredictable with this too, because even Jurassic Express doesn't have to get pinned to lose the tag title, so it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with this come Double or Nothing. So,
yeah, Cam. Wait. I thought the segment. I thought the segment itself with. I thought the segment itself with Keith Lee, Jurassic Express, and Team Daz, Starks and Hobbs. I thought it was a really good segment. I thought it was a really good segment. That three-way next week looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I said before, and I'll say it again. I want to see more of the workhorsemen on TV, and not just in jobber roles. I want to see these guys get like a legitimate push, even if it's for like a couple, even if it's just for like a couple weeks. I would love to see these guys get like a legitimate push on AEW television. I love the workhorsemen. I love JD Drake. I love JD Drake, not just because JD Drake is my friend, not just because I'm cool with JD Drake, but JD Drake is a great professional wrestler. Anthony Henry is also really good. I like that. I like that tag team a lot, and I would like to see them more on AEW. I would like to see them more on AEW Dynamite, get more shine, because I think those guys are really good.
Yeah, I mean they were good when I saw them at the Dark Tape, and I think they wrestled like the Varsity Blondes or something like that. But yeah, pretty predictable stuff with this segment, but with the building up, making tag titles official. We're gonna get into MJF and Wardlow. This was the um, last segment in hour one before we headed into hour two. So MJF, um, MJF came out and immediately boos. He said cut his music, and he was cutting a promo. He said, "Unfortunately, tonight we're not in Long Island, New York, and tonight we're in Houston." And then he started to pretend to like cough and puke. And then he said, "We're supposed," and then tonight we're in Houston, Texas. And he got all, you know, pretending to throw up and cough and everything like that, and bringing out that personality. And then when he's cutting his promo, the crowd's chanting "Shut the F up" and stuff like that. And honestly, I don't know why people are talking about this so much. Why are people talking about MJF to WWE right now? Like his contract, this contract.
He's playing the game, bro. MJF gonna be the first wrestler to request a trade, bro. He gonna walk into Tony Khan's office one day. He gonna walk into Tony. Hey man, he gonna be the first wrestler to request a trade, bro. Sasha Banks said they owe me the AEW for MJF. I think we gonna get a trade. I think we gonna get a trade soon.
No man, that ain't happening. people are wasting their time so much with this topic. His contract's not even up for a year, for 20 months. 20 months, his contract's not even up for. And even then, I still don't think MJF is going to leave AEW. I just don't. I don't see it happening. He's not. He would. It's a waste of time to talk about. Wardlow comes out. I love how they're giving him this gold. Me and Cam talked about it last week. They're giving him this Goldberg vibe of an entrance, old school Goldberg vibe of an entrance. Honestly, if they want to keep it, I have no problem with it. It actually makes Wardlow look even cooler. But he comes out. He's got no shirt on. He's ready to take the lashes, and he no-sold all the lashes. He's just standing there, taking all 10 lashes. This was exactly what was going to happen. I kind of knew, Wardlow's going to stand there. He's going to no-soul. And MJF's going to give him a low blow or something like that, chair shot or whatever. That's what happened. MJF gave Wardlow a low blow on the 10th lash, beating up Wardlow with the belt, and Shawn Spears gave him a C4. MJF put Shawn Spears covered him, and MJF counted 1, 2, 3. So there you go. Wardlow's winning the steel cage match next week against Shawn Spears. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Shawn Spears has a good chance of winning that match. But, yeah, this segment was fine. Not their best segment on the build to Double or Nothing. I honestly thought it was last week's segment that was probably their best segment so far on this build up to their match. Yeah, pretty predictable. MJF at the end screamed out, he said something like, "I own this company" or something like that. So, yeah, segment was fine. We'll go to Cam.
I thought the segment was too short. I thought the segment was way too short. This was not Cody MJF lashes. This was not. This was not that. This is not that. I still thought this segment would have benefited from going about an extra, going an extra couple minutes. I just thought the segment was way too short. I just thought the segment was way too short. But for what they did, I thought it was. For what they did, I thought it was fine. They need to keep Wardlow's insurance. Him coming out with the security guards, maybe not the handcuffs, but him coming out with the security guards each week. No, him coming out with the security guards each week. They need to keep that insurance. And also, Tony Khan, buy the right to War Pigs. Buy the rights to War Pigs, so we can get that for MJ.
Wes?
I mean, not MJ.
Oh, my bad. Keep going. Go ahead,
I'm done.
Wes. Go ahead, Wes.
All right. Yeah, I thought this was a good segment. Yeah, it could have been a few minutes longer. That's true. Now that I look back at it, but I thought for what they did, it was solid. I still love what they're doing with the storyline, and it makes sense for Wardlow to not sell the 10 lashes. I mean, you look how big he is. I mean, they did the same thing with Cody Rhodes, but it made more sense with Cody because he's not as big as Wardlow. See, Wardlow is a big monster and stuff. He's not supposed to sell some weak ass belt straps to the back, man. Wardlow ain't like that. He don't play that game. But I like the fact that MJF ended up just low blowing him, just taking the cheap, cowardly way out. And then Shawn Spears hitting the C4 on Wardlow to build up to the steel cage match next week with MJF as a special guest referee. Should be a really solid match. I'm looking forward to them bringing back the cage match again. But man, again, they're doing really good things with this storyline, man. I'm very much hyped up for the eventual match at Double or Nothing between MJF and Wardlow. It should be awesome stuff, man. I mean, it's amazing how MJF went from one, awesome feud with seeing another amazing storyline with Wardlow, man. I mean, it just pretty much goes to show you too that MJF and pretty much everything he's involved in, it's going to be an awesome segment. You're guaranteed like gold every time you get MJF, whether it's on a mic, in the ring, whatever the case may be, man. MJF is one of the most special talents in all professional wrestling, man. And not to take anything away from Wardlow either, man. Wardlow is one of the best built babyface, maybe the best built babyface right now in all of wrestling, man. This dude is so over. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. He's my outside of Hangman and Punk, obviously. He's one of the most over on. He's probably one of the most over guys in AEW right now. So good on Wardlow. He's been doing some great work doing all this stuff with MJF, and I love it, man. I love it. We had our second Owen Hart qualifier tonight. This was the start of hour 2. Ray Phoenix against Kyle O'Reilly. I had some pretty good expectations for this match. I thought they delivered really well. I thought this match was very good. Kyle O'Reilly targeting the shoulder of Ray Phoenix was the obvious story choice here. They told a good story during the match. The in-ring action was really good. It's always good with these two guys. That Hurricane Rana, Ray Phoenix to Kyle O'Reilly on the outside, absolutely beautiful. The finish was even better. Ray Phoenix goes for a cutter. I'm like, oh, he's going to hit. It looks like he's going to hit the cutter, but Kyle O'Reilly caught this man in midair, gave him the armbar, and then had the armbar and like a leg trap in at the same time. The same time. And Ray Phoenix tapped out. Kyle O'Reilly wins. Very good match. And we're getting Kyle O'Reilly against Samoa Joe next week in the semi-finals. Very good stuff by these two guys here. Let's go to Wes.
Yeah, this was another one of the matches tonight that was absolutely awesome, man. Kyle O'Reilly and Ray Phoenix absolutely killed it. I mean, and you look at how red Kyle O'Reilly's chest and neck got by the end of this, man. I mean, these two guys kicked each other, and it was amazing to watch. Ray Phoenix, again, one of the most special talents in all of professional wrestling, man. This dude is seriously not a human being. I mean, this guy still amazes me. Like, even though he'll like play up some of the old tunes too, like that we've seen before, this guy still amazes me every single time. How easy he makes it look he literally makes tightrope walking on the ropes look like, hey, I'm just normally walking. And it's unreal. It's unreal. Absolutely unreal, man. I love it. And Kyle O'Reilly, man, we know how great he is, man. Such a great technical wrestler he is. And I love this clash here between him and Ray Phoenix. And I thought O'Reilly winning was a good choice too. And now we got O'Reilly and the Joe and the next round. And more than likely, when it comes to Ray Phoenix, we're going to get him and Death Triangle versus House of Black come Double or Nothing, which that should be an amazing six-man right there in its own right. But Joe versus O'Reilly next week should be a great match. I'm very much looking forward to it. Should be hard-hitting. I'm sure now that Joe's arm seems to be seemingly injured now at the hands of Jay Lethal, that'll probably come to the technical advantage of Kyle O'Reilly in next week's match. We'll see how everything turns out, but I'm looking forward to it.
Cam?
Excellent match between Kyle O'Reilly and Ray Phoenix. I saw somebody on Twitter say NXT, Kyle O'Reilly is dead, and New Japan, Kyle O'Reilly is back. Yeah, I agree. NXT, Kyle O'Reilly gone. New Japan, Kyle O'Reilly is back. That man, he got the shit beat out of him tonight, man. I thought this was a great. Him and Ray Phoenix had an absolutely great match. That tightrope spot where Ray Phoenix did a tightrope on the outside and delivered a Hurricane Rana. That was a beautiful spot. I thought that was a beautiful spot. That was a beautiful spot. I thought that was great. And I thought the finish was clean, too. I thought it was a clean finish. I thought it was a clean finish. It's a great match here. Too many great spots to call here. Phoenix and O'Reilly. I would not mind seeing this again at all. This is a lot of fun. Kyle O'Reilly winning. I like it. Kyle O'Reilly winning. I like it. I think he's losing the jump next week. But Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, that could be a very interesting and very intriguing match with what's going on now. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for next week. Only thing I thought we would have seen is that Um, I maybe House of Black costing Ray Phoenix this match, but they went for a clean finish. I was fine with it. So, all right, man. Um, this is unfortunately where the downfall begins. I'm sorry, Cam. We had the Owen Hart qualifier, Britt Baker against her Joker. Um, Obviously, it wasn't going to be Candice LeRae. She just had a baby. She's probably not ready for a couple months. I thought for sure it was going to be Athena. And then I saw at 6 o'clock she was live on Twitch. So I'm like, okay, it's not her. I didn't know who the hell it was going to be. We saw John Morrison earlier tonight. I'm like, okay, maybe it's Taya Valkyrie. I would have loved for it to be Deonna Purrazzo. At first, I didn't know who came out. And then I saw Maki Itoh running out with the microphone. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. And as no offense, as soon as she started singing, I walked away. And it's just like, dude, I don't like this. I'm not for this. This is not my cup of tea. It's just so cringe. It is really, really cringe. And I mean, the fucking shit she was doing her. She was like the banging of her head on the turnbuckle. It's just like what is this, dude? Like this was a thumbs down by Tony Khan and AEW. The best part, I mean, I don't know. I'll just say it. The best part about this match was when the bell rang for the match to be over. So, luckily, Britt Baker won. She advances. And I'm actually excited to see Britt Baker against Toni Storm. That should be a awesome match. I think that will probably happen next week. I'm going to give this one to Cam first. He's supporting the shirt because me and Wes are hating. I just
Y'all putting some disrespect on my girl Makito right now, man. And I do not appreciate it, man. I do not appreciate it, man. I tweeted it out on Twitter. Oh, and by the way, if you get offended by this, folks, by the way, if you get offended by this, folks, I'm joking. I'm not serious when I say this at all. But I tweeted this out on Twitter. If I see Maki Itoh disrespect on the timeline, it's an automatic block. It is an automatic block if I see that disrespect on my timeline, man. Come on, man. I'm disrespecting my girl Maki Itoh like that. But in all seriousness, her being the Joker to me was fine. I'm not just saying that, I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying that because I'm not just saying that because I'm a Maki Itoh simp and I got the T-shirt on. If it was, I thought her being the Joker is actually fine. And here's why. Here's why. One, it was not going to be Candice LeRae. The amount of people that actually thought it was going to be Candice LeRae is absolutely ridiculous, considering the fact that the woman just had a baby 3 months ago, and I'm assuming, I don't know how the body works, everything, but I'm assuming she's nowhere near ring shape or nowhere near ready to get back into the ring. I do think Candice LeRae is coming into AEW because she has the connection, because she has the connection of the Bucks. So I do think she is going to AEW, but she's not going right now. And also Athena, I, I wouldn't have minded being Athena, but here's the thing. If it's Athena, Candice LeRae, or anybody else, if it's Athena, Candice LeRae, Taya Valkyrie, and they're signed right, and we would have got the graphic. How do they come in and lose right away in their first tournament? Britt Baker was not losing in this match because the match AEW has been building to has been Britt Baker and Toni Storm. That has been the match they've been building to with the constant with the backstage segments that they had. So putting Maki Itoh out there for what I'm assuming is a one-off because she did not get that graphic. Unfortunately, I don't know what the hell Tony Khan waiting on, man. I need to see that Maki Itoh is all elite graphic. I need to see that Maki Itoh is all elite graphic. But throwing her out there for a one-off against Britt Baker, to me, it's fine. To me, it's fine. Deonna Purrazzo, maybe it could have been Deonna Purrazzo, but Deonna Purrazzo is not an AEW talent. She's not a free agent. Deonna Purrazzo is an Impact talent. Deonna Purrazzo is an Impact Wrestling talent. So maybe they could. So maybe it was a case where they couldn't get Deonna Purrazzo, and so maybe it was a case where they couldn't get Deonna Purrazzo. Taya Valkyrie, I think, is also an Impact talent because I know she was doing stuff with Impact. I don't know if she signed with Impact or not. But it being Maki Itoh to me is fine because if you look at the other options, how does Athena come in and lose, right? How does Athena come in and lose her first match in AEW right away? Candice LeRae is not ready. How do right? Say if it's Athena Nixon or Linke Digganatis, any of these, how do they come in right away and lose their first match? It doesn't really. I don't think that really gives them a good look, especially in the match AEW has been building has been Britt Baker and Tony Storm. So that's just my. So those are just my thoughts on it.
I understand where you're coming from, but I agree. Candice LeRae can't afford a loss, and Athena can't afford a loss in their first matches in AEW. But there's no doubt in my mind, if Tony Khan gave Scott D'Amore a call and said, hey, I would like to use Deonna Purrazzo on one episode of Dynamite. This is what I would like to use her for. I would like for her to wrestle in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. She's going to wrestle her best friend, Britt Baker. I guarantee you she would say yes. I guarantee you she would do it in a heartbeat. So they could have easily done Deonna Purrazzo, and you know what? I would have been very happy with that. So you're right for what you say about them building the Tony Storm and Britt Baker. Absolutely, you're right about them saying. You're right about saying that Candice and Athena, if they came in, they can't afford a loss already. You're right. But I think Tony Khan could have easily called Scott and be like, hey, do we use Deonna for one match? It's against Britt Baker. They're best friends. I guarantee you she'd say yes in a heartbeat. Let's go to Wes.
Yeah, I definitely get where you're coming from with that, Cam. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of expecting a little bit better. I'm sorry, but I'm not a Maki Itoh stan. I'm not. I've tried getting into her and stuff, but it's not my cup of tea. I mean, I know a lot of people love her and everything, but it's just I feel like they could have done better here. The match ended up being just. I mean, it's not my cup of tea. I mean, Britt wins as is expected. She moves on to face Tony Storm. I am looking forward to Britt versus Tony Storm next week. I think that should be a really good match. But yeah, I felt like they could have done better with this. I kind of really wasn't too focused on the match itself. But it is what it is. Life moves on. And again, Tony versus Britt should be a good match when that time comes next week. So.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if we'll see more appearances of Maki Itoh. We'll see what happens. And then after that, this is kind of where the timing issue starts to begin because at 9:42, I think around there, Tony Schiavone's in the ring, and he gets interrupted by Serena Deeb. I'm like, do we really need this at 9:42? With 18 minutes to go in the show. You're telling me they can't have this on Rampage? You're telling me with Ice, I saw the matches that took place on Rampage. No spoilers, but that segment could have easily taken place on Rampage instead of taking up time from Jeff Hardy against Adam Cole. So anyway. I just had a timing issue with this segment. The promo that Serena Deeb cut was awesome. This was by far the best promo she's ever cut before. She basically developed herself as the true heel in the women's division and making her case, basically roasting Tony Schiavone, roasting Dustin Rhodes, and roasting WWE management. When she said to Dustin, like, I respect you. You know my trials and tribulations. You know how hard it was to be a woman in the business in that era. She's talking about the Divas era all the way back many, many years ago. She says, I still get no respect over that. I put breast implants into my body to satisfy some old perverts backstage. Vince McMahon. I shaved my head because I wanted it that bad, and I still got no respect. So I loved the way she was coming in with the heat. Tony Schiavone and Dustin Rhodes. Why do you think I'm gonna beat? Why do you think Thunder Rosa is gonna beat me? And then she just absolutely roasted WWE management. Which, if there's any week, okay, I'm gonna get my shot in right now. If there's any week to be roasting WWE management, it's this week. It is this week with all the Sasha Banks stuff going on now. I'm not going to talk about it in a separate video. You guys can go get my thoughts on that on my Twitter page. But if there's any week to roast WWE management, it is this week. It is this week. That's exactly what she did. And then she slapped Dustin Rhodes, and Thunder Rosa tried to attack her. Dustin Rhodes held her back. Thunder Rosa elbowed Dustin Rhodes, and Serena Deeb hit Thunder Rosa with the title, and she held up the title. Okay, so now that was a good segment. That was a very good segment. I know they're gonna have a great match, but I'm sorry, this build was really bad. All their segments are right before the main event. It's unannounced, and it's either on stage or, at this instance, in the ring. But they just haven't given me a reason to care, if that makes sense, about this match. That's how I feel like. It's going to be a great match. These are two of the best women's wrestlers in the world, but AEW just doesn't give me a reason to care about this match. I don't know if y'all feel the same way, but that's how I kind of feel right now. Wes, your thoughts?
Yeah, not going to discredit the promo from Serena Deeb. I thought her promo was great. She did stumble a couple times, but overall, overall great promo. She ended it on a very hot note, and the segment would have been more fine if they just didn't rush this out. Because I agree with you, Joseph. I think they've built this feud poorly. The match itself should be great. Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb are both well crafted in what they do. And I think these two women are going to put on a hell of a show at Double or Nothing on May 29th. But this really just kind of feels forced. It feels like they really just threw this together because they needed a feud for Thunder Rosa, and it's like they just remembered. It feels like when they get midway through the show, Tony Khan remembers all the time and said, oh, hey, yeah, Thunder Rosa is the AEW Women's Champion. Hey, guys, let's get her out there because we got to remind people, hey, she's the Women's Champion. She's on May 29th. That's how it feels to me when they do this, because I don't like these unannounced. I don't even like when they do unannounced matches on these shows, because every single week with Dynamite they announce all these matches and all of the segments happening, and then for whatever reason they always end up adding a last second match or a last second segment, and they do either like one or two of those, and it's like, do we really need to do that? Do we really? You have so much you have already like announced for this show. Do you really need to add another thing on top of that? I just feel it's very unnecessary, and I feel like it's just y'all are trying to just force too much and cram too much into a 2-hour program that is you haven't been given an overrun. You've been given an overrun like a couple times, here and there. But I mean, honestly, I feel like Tony Khan might need to start talking with Turner Network about getting an overrun, or better yet, you have two shows for this now. You have Rampage and you have Dynamite. Add stuff like this to Rampage. If you would have added this to like this Friday's Rampage, would have been perfectly okay. You would have had the time because you have that extra hour. That's the benefit of having Rampage on Fridays, is because it's supposed to be an extension of AEW Dynamite. It's more content for people to consume, and it's done in a timely fashion. AEW shouldn't be having time management problems at this point in time. I get it why it happened with them. to start things off because they were brand new to national television. It makes sense. When you get started on such a grand scale like that, it makes all the sense in the world. And over time, they have made they've done better with the time management. But now it seems like I've noticed this still, even in the recent months, that they still at times still have these time management problems. Like they'll have a backstage segment and then they just boom right to the next segment. Okay, it's like, all right, here's this thing. Boom, we're going to the next one. It's like when FCR fired Tully Blanchard. They literally like dropped that bombshell on everybody, and then they just moved right on like immediately. It's like FTR just
things a chance to breathe.
Yeah, I mean,
They don't give things a chance to breathe.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I hope Tony Khan works on this, and there's other stuff going on too that he needs to work on as well, especially the TNT title picture. I mean, I don't even know what in the world we're doing with that come Double or Nothing. I don't even know if the title's going to be even defended at Double or Nothing. I mean, I just know right now, man, TNT title is probably the least important title in this entire company. I feel like the FTW title has more relevance right now than the TNT title, and that's sad if the FTW gimmick championship has more relevance right now than the TNT title. But I mean, that's how it feels. I mean, because of this whole flip flop nonsense, it's just I don't know what it is, man. I mean, Tony Khan might need to start getting other people to start chiming in and start doing a bit more work. And I'm sure he's still taking ideas from people. I'm not discrediting that. And I think Tony Khan's done a wonderful job with AEW. I'm still a huge fan, of course. As you'll know, we're all big fans of the company, but we just want to see this stuff get better. We want to see this stuff improve. Even with a TBS title, I mean, I look at Jade Cargill's reign. I feel like it really has not been that memorable outside of the streak that she's been holding. The undefeated streak, I feel like, is really the big thing that's going with that, the whole TBS title reign. Other than that, has she really had memorable matches that we can really hang our hat on it?
Honestly, I can't remember I can't remember a real important match she's had with the TBS title instead of Ty Conti at the Revolution pay-per-view. And honestly, I didn't even watch the match, and I was there. So
yeah, it's just, I mean, and I ultimately think we're probably gonna get her and Statlander a Double or Nothing. I feel like that's kind of the direction they're heading, and if that's the case, I kind of hope they put the title in Statlander because I just feel like Jade has the look, she has Mark Sterling with her, it's great and everything. She's still not at that level yet where she is competing at such a high level as a competitor. I think she's got so much potential, but I just feel like they really just threw the title on her because she's got the look and everything, and I just feel like they have so much stock put into her. But meanwhile, you have all these other women like that have been trying to scratch and claw their way for a lot longer, and I don't know, it's just a very confusing thing. But I mean, there's just areas in AEW that just need to be worked on, and I hope they are. And and when it comes to Jade Cargill, I know she's been working closely with Bryan Danielson. She is trying to get better, and I do appreciate the hell out of that. I appreciate the fact that she is putting in the work. That's a great thing to see. I'm not discrediting her work ethic in any way. I just want to see more importance when it comes to storylines. I want these like storylines in each picture, whether it be non-title or for the titles. I want them to mean something. I want to be able to invest my time. Why do I care? Why should I care? Why should I care about this person here, person A versus person B? Why should I care? Give me a reason. That's the whole thing with pro wrestling. You have to give me a reason to care. If you don't give me that, then it's not really going to be worth my time. So again, I hope this is stuff AEW works on over time. And again, I mean, I know they're still a young company, but this is stuff they should have down by this point. So
that was well said, man. That was really well said. Before I hand it over to Cam, I might as well talk about the timing of the show right now. Like you said, in the beginning of Dynamite, I expect it because it's brand new and you're trying to, figure things out, construct, okay, how are we going to do it? It feels like in the past month, 6 weeks, there's no problem. There's no problem with the first hour. The first hour is fine. It's always the second hour that just kills the vibe. And the fact that these main events are less than 10 minutes, it's not good. And this reminds me when I used to watch WWE on Raw, say, um, I don't know, I'm just going to say an example. Say at 10:48, AJ Styles comes out to make his entrance. They go to commercial. Um, at 10:51, Seth Rollins makes his entrance before they have the main event. The bell rings at 10:53. They have 7 minutes of wrestling between AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. That's exactly what I felt tonight with Jeff Hardy and Adam Cole. Jeff Hardy made his entrance at 9:51. He got attacked by Adam Cole. The match started at 9:52, and a minute into the match, they went to commercial break. And by the time the commercial break was over, it was 9:56. So realistically, if you don't pay attention to picture in picture like myself, you only saw Jeff Hardy and Adam Cole wrestle for 4 minutes. That's a problem. That's a problem. And I don't know if they're trying to get too much stuff on the show. Not every. What's that?
That's exactly what it feels like right on. That's exactly what.
Not everybody. You don't have to try to get everybody on the show. There's two shows for a reason. And I said this earlier with Cam. I said it earlier on the review, I think. In the beginning weeks of NXT, when they moved to USA Network, I obviously love the NXT on WWE Network better. But when NXT moved to USA, their show started at 8 o'clock, and their show didn't get over until 10 minutes after 10 o'clock, 10:10. They added an extra 10 minutes so that the main event just got enough time to have the proper amount of minutes that it should. I feel like AEW Dynamite needs just 10 minutes. 10 minutes could mean so much. It really could. It could mean a lot to this show, which has a problem of timing right now. And again, we're not simply hating on AEW like other people in the community are. That's just basically that's what they live off of. They live off of just hating for AEW for whatever reason. We are we are talking about this because we're just trying we just want to see something get better because not every we love all. I know Cameron, you love AEW. Wesley, you love AEW. If we all didn't love AEW, we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be tuning in. We wouldn't be tuning in every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. We wouldn't be willingly buy tickets to go to their shows. We wouldn't be doing that. So we do it because, we love AEW. We just want to see them get better. But they're not perfect. And no wrestling company is perfect. But this is a big issue, and it's got to be addressed. Because the fact that we got this segment with Serena Deeb at 9:42, and the fact that the main event didn't start until 9:52, that's a big red flag. So, Cam, I'm sorry, enough of me rambling. We still got to get your thoughts on the Serena Deeb segment, and then we'll talk about the main event.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So this Serena Deeb segment, I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine, but I'm with you guys. This did not need to be added. First off, announce Thunder Rosa segments ahead of. It should not be this hard. I'm assuming, because I have enough faith in Tony Khan, that the show is already written. I'm assuming it's not. I'm assuming this is not a last minute thing where he's just throwing Thunder Rosa out there. I hope Tony Khan would not do that to his women's champion of all people. I understand it may happen sometimes because you got to fill up time till you get to this point. I hope you're just not throwing your women's champion on the show. I hope that's not happening with your women's champion. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here. Announce Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb segments. Announce them. Announce them just like we had. They had a segment tonight with Jericho and William Regal where they went next week. William Regal and Chris Jericho go face to face on AEW Dynamite. You can't do that with Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa. Next week, Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb go fix the face from Dynamite. Next week, Tony Schiavone. Next week, we hear from Thunder Rosa. Something like that. Like you can't do that. This should have been on Rampage. And no disrespect to Fuego del Sol, but come on. You could have easily removed Dark Order, Fuego del Sol against House of Black, and against House of Black, and added this to Rampage. Do people really want to see? Do you really care about House of Black against Fuego del Sol and Dark Order? I don't think. I don't. I know I don't. I don't think you guys do either. You could have easily taken that off and put this segment on Rampage. That's one, two. That's one and two. It feels like with AEW Dynamite. Tony Khan, because AEW has a gigantic roster. And it feels like Tony Khan is just having to get it feels like this is their way of getting everybody television time just by just cramming in these segments and everything. But I agree with you guys. We do need things to breathe. And like another thing that I think would help out is if you close to pay-per-view time, like a month, 2 weeks before the pay-per-view. If these guys are not on the pay-per-view, don't put them on television. Hold them on TV. If they're not wrestling on the pay-per-view, hold them on TV. Why do we need to see Fuego del Sol backstage segment? Gives a shit about no disrespect to Fuego. He gives a shit about Fuego del Sol against the House of Black. And anyway, you could have added another segment. If they're not wrestling on the pay-per-view, I don't want to see. If they're not wrestling on the pay-per-view 2-3 weeks from the show, I don't want to see them on TV. 2-3 weeks from the show, I do not want to see them on television. If they're not wrestling on the pay-per-view, don't put them on television. You can easily hold them on television, and you can easily hold them off television until after the pay-per-view. The night after you want to kickstart this feud, go ahead. Why the fuck do we need to see them on television? Why? That's just why. I think that's something. Why? I think that's something that could help them out. They could cut. That's something I think they could do and cut that out. But that's just it.
Yeah. Well, unless you get a situation like tonight, like Takeshita's not wrestling on the pay-per-view, but he's in a match with Hangman Page.
No. I'm talking about that. Of course, I want you to like build up. Of course, I want you to like build up your fuse and whatever. But like, if you have two guys, okay, but like if you have like two random guys, let's say like you have or let's say you have Sam Guevara, and I say you have Sam Guevara and Brendan Cup, right? And you're just doing that feud for the sake of doing it. I don't want to see those two guys on television if they're not factored into the show. Hangman Page and Konosuke Takeshita, that's fine. Hangman Page wrestling on pay-per-view. It's an easy one for Hangman before the pay-per-view. That's great. That's great. If you're having a backstage segment, that's great. Why is Jade Cargill in a backstage segment? She's not wrestling on the fucking pay-per-view unless they're going to add something on there. Keep her the fuck off television. Keep them the fuck off television until you announce a match for the fucking pay-per-view. Something like that. I don't know. They got to get better.
Yeah, I agree. It's like sometimes I know these matches, great wrestling. Sometimes they just make me. I just don't care. Like you said, like I don't care. I could give two shits about Fuego del Sol and the Dark Order against the House of Black. Dark Order and Fuego aren't in really major storylines right now. We know the House of Black are, but we all know who's going to win that match. And it's not like a situation like Hangman and Konosuke Takeshita where they're going to go 15 minutes and Kateshka is going to have this big breakout performance. It's not like that. So, I totally agree with you guys right there. I had to go. They didn't even. There was no time to even announce matches for Rampage on Friday, so I had to scour Twitter and go find what's going to be happening on Friday. I'm not sure if we're going to be on the review, doing a review yet. It's not a 5:30 start time. It's a 7 o'clock start time for Rampage. But on tap, we got House of Black against the House of Black against Fuego del Sol in the Dark Order. We got Red Velvet against Chris Statlander in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Sean Spears against somebody coming into AEW. I won't spoil it for you guys, for you viewers. If you guys want to know it off air, I'll tell you. But he's in action, and the main event was Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson against Dante Martin and Matt Sydal. So that's Friday for y'all. Jeff Hardy and Adam Cole. Like I said, Jeff Hardy made his entrance at 9:51. Adam Cole attacked him. Match started at 9:52. Boom. The next minute we got into commercial breaks. So really, you only saw 4 minutes of a Jeff Hardy and Adam Cole match. That's very unacceptable. I can't even give you an honest review on this match. The one super kick spot was cool. Jeff Hardy missed the Swanton bomb. Adam Cole hit the boom. That was pretty much it. Adam Cole got the win. After the match, Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy were standing in the ring with Adam Cole. The Young Bucks came out, and Adam Cole attacked the Hardy Boys. We had a 4-on-1 attack until Darby Allin and Sting come out. Then Red Dragon came out, and we had this huge brawl. Red Dragon laid out Darby Allin. Darby Allin landed right on his neck. I mean, after the Swanton bomb, he did off the ladder last week. Dude's landing on his neck after a high load this week. He's truly insane. The best thing about all of this was Sting had a steel chair. Kyle O'Reilly had a steel chair. He tried to hit Sting. Sting no-sold it, and then he just hit Kyle O'Reilly in the head with the chair, and Kyle just fell. That was very funny. But then the Young Bucks gave Sting a super kick to the shoulders. So. And then they proceeded to hurt his ankle. So there you go, everybody. That was your closing segment of Dynamite. Cam, what was your thoughts?
I thought first off, Adam Cole, Jeff Hardy going short. He's going 4 fucking minutes in hindsight is really unacceptable. I think this match should have won about. I think this match should have won about a good 2 to 8 minutes. Yeah, about a good 2 to 8 minutes. But that's as much as I would. I would not have given Adam Cole and Jeff Hardy longer than about 8 minutes for a couple of reasons. One, Jeff Hardy one, you can get away with it because you can say Jeff Hardy is selling. You can say Jeff Hardy is selling the injuries he took in that brutal match last week with Darby Allin, and that's one. And two, Jeff Hardy is not Jeff Hardy. I love Jeff Hardy. This is not 2008, 2009, 2010 Jeff Hardy. This is not even 2012 Jeff Hardy when he was an Impact. This is a much older, a much slower version of Jeff Hardy. If you watched his match with Bobby Fish he had a couple weeks ago, that man looked slow and old, and that man looked slow and old as shit. So I love Jeff Hardy. It pains me to say this about Jeffrey Nero Hardy, but him, but he should not be gone. The days of him going 15, 20 minutes in a high caliber main event, those days are over. I'm sorry. Those days are over. But I thought this was a good segment here. But I thought the closing segment was good here. Hardy versus the Bucks at double. Hardy's versus the Bucks at Double and I think should be lots of fun. And also there was just that was a really bad spot in this match here. Boy, Jeff Hardy went for a whisper in the wind, and Adam Cole went for a super kick. But the problem is Adam Cole completely missed. It's obvious Adam Cole completely missed, and he still covered Jeff Hardy. He still covered Jeff Hardy. That is completely unfucking acceptable. That is completely unacceptable. Somebody as long as Jeff Hardy who's been doing this, for you to completely miss the kick and it looked as bad as it did, and you go for the cover anyway, that's completely unfucking acceptable. But I thought the post match.
Yeah. Wes?
Yeah, I can't really say much. The match was very short. Adam Cole wins. We get a brawl afterwards that felt really rushed because they literally had like a minute to do this brawl and they just attack everybody and then it cuts off the air. Yeah, again, it just goes back to time management. They just got to do better. Use Rampage for more of this time extension that you need. Just use Rampage. Reason why you have it. I cannot stress that enough. And yeah, I mean, it would have been fine if this went 8 to 10 minutes because again, yeah, it's like you said, Cameron. It's like the whole thing last week. Jeff Hardy went through a freaking war with Darby Allin in that match. Those guys literally killed each other, and so it makes sense for Jeff to go a shorter match than Adam Cole. But to go realistically 4 minutes, that ain't right, man. That should never be that. That's not a main event match. Imagine just going that short. That's not a main event match, man. That's stupid.
Especially on Dynamite. It's not like this is Raw. This is
right. Yeah, I mean, it's just careless booking, and again, I hope they fix it. And I'm sure, they will over time. I just hope that we start seeing more of the audience's voices really speak out more to what we see when it comes to the time management, when it comes to certain storylines, certain feuds. I mean, Tony Khan really has got to get, I think, anybody in his ear, because I feel like of course, I'm not a part of the creative process at AEW. I don't know how it actually goes, but from what we know, it seems that Tony Khan is the only one really writing these shows at the end of the day. I really don't think it'd be a horrible idea to get a second or third person in there to really just try and even this stuff out a little bit. I know they have some of the wrestlers like doing a bit of work with certain certain divisions, like the women's division, the tag team division, and all that. But at the end of the day, it runs through Tony Khan, and I'm fine with that. I'm not saying remove Tony Khan. I'm saying like he just needs the help. I feel like he needs help because I feel like he's trying to I feel like he's putting too much on himself probably, and it's kind of showing now. It's kind of showing now more than ever. I'm still looking forward to Double or Nothing. I'm still excited. It should still be a hell of a show in Las Vegas when May 29th does get here. They need to fix these mistakes, and they just need to do it soon before fans start to get really turned off from this product and start to really tune out and not care to watch it much anymore, because this is still a growing company at the end of the day, and we want to see AEW succeed. That's the whole reason why we're here, why we talk about this on a weekly basis.
And the last thing I will say, I have confidence that AEW is going to fix this. Why? Because they care about pro wrestling. They care about this art of pro wrestling. And for years, WWE has had so many problems, and fans have been in their throat saying, like behind them saying, fix this. And WWE just doesn't care. They don't listen to the fans, and they don't care about wrestling. No, apparently nobody cares about wrestling. If you read up on this Sasha Banks storyline with her and Naomi walking out of Monday Night Raw, people are shocked that they did this and are against Sasha Banks, and WWE's like, and there's a statement like you're paid actors, like really. But I think that this will get fixed. It won't get fixed overnight. It won't get fixed like that. It won't get fixed next week. It'll take a process, and that's everything. Everything in life is a process. But I got confidence that they're gonna fix the timing issues. Hopefully sooner rather than later, because you're right. If they don't fix these issues in like the next couple months, you're gonna get people in there like, okay, Dynamite is not mandatory television anymore. I don't need to watch it. I could set it on DVR, and you don't want that. You don't want that for your product. But that's all we got tonight, everybody. That is your Dynamite review here on the Big Fight Fuel channel. Fortunately, wasn't a really good show tonight. Hopefully we get better heading into Double or Nothing next Sunday. But really quickly before we go, I'm not sure how next week is going to be for me. Next week is going to be a crazy week. Tuesday is my last day of college for the year before I'm off for the summer. So I'm moving back home to New Jersey for the summer. I got a long drive home. There might not be a Dynamite review Wednesday. I'm not so sure about that. I'll keep y'all updated on Twitter. Um, Thursday night, if everything's good, we should be here for Double or Nothing preview predictions. I will gladly do that Thursday night, since I won't have anything much to do. So if y'all are up for it, Thursday night, Double or Nothing predictions, you Wes and you Cam, if y'all are up, just let me know. Friday I'll be available for Rampage, and then Sunday's my first day of work for this summer. But you got the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Obviously, I'm not missing that. Obviously, I'm not going to skip a review for the pay-per-view. I'm sure as hell going to be here next Sunday for Double or Nothing. But the only thing I'm questionable about right now is next week's Dynamite review, because I'll be driving home from Orlando to New Jersey, so I'll keep y'all updated. But be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel, man. Comment down below your thoughts on tonight's episode. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from myself, Wesley Williams, and Cameron Johnson. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @Conlon_Joseph. And be sure to follow my TikTok as well. I'm making sports content like every day. Not every day, but like 3 out of 4 days of the week. So go ahead and follow my TikTok page over at Conlon_Joseph. Wes, plug your socials, my friend.
But you already know, follow me over on Instagram at The Real Wesley Snipes. Follow me over on TikTok with the same exact username. Again, that is at The Real Snipes. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in to another AEW Dynamite review. And we're looking forward to Double or Nothing coming up here very, very soon, man. Not this upcoming Sunday, but the Sunday after. We will be having a grand spectacle in Las Vegas, and we'll be here to talk about that. And it's going to be a great night of pro wrestling for sure. Cam, go ahead and plug those socials, my friend.
Take us home.
Follow me on Twitter at Cam71101. I am on there. I am on there talking the NBA playoffs. So if that interests you, make sure you follow me there. Also, check out the CNE podcast, available on all platforms. We got some good stuff over there. We got an interview with the DPW World Champion Bojack, who is also everybody on the DPW roster I'm friends with, which is great to see. Which is great to see. Most of them live in North Carolina. They're really great guys. I want that promotion to succeed so much. So if that interests you, make sure you check. Make sure you check that out. And also next week we got Double or Nothing predictions coming with a very special guest. I'm surprised he agreed to pop on. But once I reveal the guest on Twitter in a couple of days, all of you guys know who he is. All of you guys know who he is. Follow him on Twitter. Everyone follows him on Twitter. So that is going to be really fun. And yeah, so that's going to be really, really fun. And yeah.
Thank you all so much for joining us on the Big Fight Field channel tonight. This is Joseph Conlon, along with Wesley Williams, Cameron Johnson, signing off. Have a good night. Stay safe. Stay classy. Peace.